Hi, I'm Michael with Simply03, and I'm just going to give you a brief introduction to the Ozonette here. The Ozonette is the newest device on the market in the realm of ozone. It is using the most advanced technology available on ozone. Reason being is because it has a built-in analyzer. It's always going to be accurate, so you never have to worry about whether or not your dosage is on or off. Has a built-in touchpad, so you're just going to be using your hands with the digital interface to be able to control the Ozonette. Has a built-in destruct. Any excess ozone we're able to neutralize. And finally, as a built-in regulator, so it's always going to hold pressure for me even when I have my oxygen tank on full blast. Alright, so to get started with the Ozonette device here, there's a few things you're going to need. Of course, the Ozonette and the power cord. And then with the Ozonette, when you purchase it, there will be this regulator and the hose as well. Outside of that, you're going to need some sort of apparatus to capture the ozone, either a syringe, a bag, or something else. And then the oxygen source, of course. Okay, so this is going to be the regulator that will come with the device. It will either be 870 or 540. 870 is your standard oxygen tank. It has this special fitting on it, and what this does is it allows you to push this hose in, and then it's a tight fitting. So no oxygen is going to be leaking out. It's actually going to hold pressure for us once we plug it into the unit, even if I have it on full flow. So how I do that is I just push the hose in and then pull back on it, and it's all ready to go. If I do want to take the hose out, I push up on this blue piece and pull the hose out. Again, to reapply, I just push the hose in, pull down, and it's tight. The next step is going to be to apply the regulator to the oxygen tank here. So here's my oxygen tank and my regulator with the hose on it. I'm just going to roll the oxygen regulator over and then screw this in once the prongs are in the holes. So you'll feel when it's tight, it should be all set. Then I'm going to open up the valve. So you should see this pin pop up somewhere either 2000 or lower. If it's in the red, that means your tank is either empty or almost empty. The next step is to plug this oxygen hose into the back side of the unit here. It's similar to the regulator. You're just going to push it in, pull out, make sure that's tight, and there shouldn't be any leakage there then. Next thing we're going to do is adjust this regulator all the way up to 8 liters per minute. You don't have to worry about it losing any oxygen. It's just going to hold pressure for me. At the end of the day, go ahead and turn your oxygen tank off, and then when you start the day, go ahead and turn it back on. Now we're able to turn our device on with the oxygen set all the way up. This screen is going to start to display here, and I wanted to mention this cord is 110/220, so it will take whatever power source you have. It works worldwide. So let's switch this around here. Right, so now the oxygen is plugged in, the machine is on. You're going to see a few things on the display screen here. First of all, this one is a syringe. This will accept any syringe you put on the port and automatically fill it up for us. It will stop once it feels the resistance of the plunger at the top. This next setting is a continuous flow setting. This is anytime you're going to need to run ozone for a minute up to 20 minutes at whatever flow rate, at whatever concentration you need. This last setting here is a manual setting. This just gives me a lot of control over the device, so I can get exact quantities very easily. And I'll go through these right now. So this, of course, here I'm using my finger to adjust between the 3 settings, and that's what I'm going to use to control the device here. This button on the right here is the enter button. This button on the left here is a cancel button. So if I want to choose this syringe setting, I'm going to go ahead and click enter. And then I get to choose my concentration here. Before you click enter again, we're going to set our syringe on though. This is the external port here where the ozone is actually going to come out. This one is a destruct. Any excess ozone can go back into the unit and it will neutralize it. That way you don't have to squirt ozone into the air, and it's a catalyst, so it's just going to neutralize the ozone. It will never go bad on you. So I get to choose any increment between 1 and 80. So I have a very full range with this unit. As you can see, it goes up quicker if I take larger strokes with my finger. If I go slower, I can get more exacting numbers. So say I want 40. I'm going to go ahead and click enter. What the machine is doing now is it's actually purging the lines and calibrating itself, making sure that it's going to be accurate. So once it's done that, you can see it's kind of pushing up my syringe here. And at the top, it's going to automatically turn off for me. Alright, so you see the final dosage here, which is 2,000 micrograms of ozone. Dosage is the concentration times the volume. It is not one or the other. Those are the two variables that you have to play with ozone. So make sure that you are taking both of those into account when using ozone. So my syringe is all full here. I can use this for whatever I need. But say I only wanted half of the syringe. I can go ahead and dispense the other half into the destruct and then use it. But I'm actually just going to get rid of all of it. If we were to do the manual setting, I could get exactly 30 cc's, but a lot of times it's just quicker to fill up the full syringe and then dispense what I don't need. So this one is the continuous flow setting. This would be used for anything that you need to let the ozone flow for either a minute up to 20 minutes at whatever flow rate you want. So I go ahead and click enter. I get to choose my concentration anywhere between 1 and 80. Let's say 20, so I'm going to click enter again. This is where I get to choose the flow rate. So any flow rate between 10 and 50 liters per hour. So let's say I want to do 40. I'll go ahead and click enter. And now I get to choose the minutes that I let that flow for. Anywhere between 1 and 20 minutes. I'm not actually going to let it run because I just have a syringe on. If I had a line feeding out into this, I would be able to do that. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and click cancel. If I clicked enter, it would start to run then. Let's take a look at the third setting here, the manual setting. Let's click enter. Again, I get to choose my concentration, anywhere between 1 and 80. 6 gamma we'll choose. I get to choose my flow rate, anywhere between 10 and 50 liters per hour. I'm going to go ahead and go with 15, a little bit slower. Now it's calibrating the lines for me. It's not going to actually start dispensing ozone until I click down on this enter button here. Once I start clicking down on this, it'll start filling up the syringe for me. And it'll also be calculating the amount of mLs that are being dispensed and the gamma concentration. I can take my finger off, it'll stop, put my finger back on, and it continues again. And I can do that as many times as I want. When I want to get out of the setting, I go ahead and click cancel. And we are good to go. Alright, so that was the basics of the Ozonette device here. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me on this. Thanks for watching.